Hey there, my name is Megan Clark and I am a content marketing specialist and a freelance copywriter. And I am here to talk to you today about SEO. Not deep dive on SEO, but rather 5 quick SEO wins for your business or your website. So let's dive in. Pretty much, it doesn't matter if you have the most flawless blog, product description, website copy, article, or homepage in the world. If no one clicks on your website to see it, that's what SEO is all about, really. How do I get people to see my content and to rank higher so that people can organically find and reach out and seek out my services or my website or my offer or whatever it is that you have on your site? Have you ever searched for something on Google? I'm going to take a wild guess and assume that you have. Who hasn't, right? If you've ever stopped to wonder and and think about how exactly did these top 10 options that I'm seeing here in my Google search come to be? And the quick answer is SEO, search engine optimization. SEO is the process that helps websites rank in Google so they come up at the top of the list in searches. SEO is like the invitation to the party that you're hosting, right? If you don't send it out, if you don't send the invitation out, you're going to end up by yourself in a party hat feeling really sad. And nobody wants that, right? So if you or your business are trying to rank higher in Google, in the top 10 Google searches for your industry, it's time you start focusing, if you haven't already, on your search engine optimization strategy. So when it comes to writing copy, you're writing for really 3 people, but especially 2 people. 3 people would be your target audience who are either skimming your content first person, really diving deep into your content second person, and the third is Google or other search engines. If you forget to write with Google in mind, your ideal consumers might never come to your party or might never see your content. You'll never get the reader or the skimmer or the deep dive reader. So these are my 5 top quick win must have SEO tips to ensure that you are bringing your target audience to your website. Number 1, check the length of your text. The shorter your blog or article, the more likely Google is to rate your website as thin and not relevant or valuable for readers. In fact, the recommended word count for blogs and articles is anywhere from around 1,000 to close to 3,000 words. Anything less than that tends to rank pretty low. This might be a surprise to some people, especially considering the low attention span that we all know that we have today as readers. However, keep in mind that today's consumers are savvy and can easily fish out content for the sake of content versus high quality content that actually shares valuable, action-oriented, and authentic information. A longer blog or article that does that, that shares that detailed, accurate, and value-packed information directed at your ideal audience, not just directed at everyone in the world, is going to keep your reader on your page for longer. And that time spent on your website also helps in terms of your ranking in Google. Now, nor does anyone in the world fully know and understand the algorithms that Google and other search engines use to rank their websites. So I can't say for certain that, hey, a longer blog post is definitely going to get you higher viewership. But what I can say is that the data shows that those longer blog posts, those longer articles, and the higher, quality content that you're putting into those long form are going to help improve your chances of ranking higher. Neil Patel, SEO master, co-founder of Neil Patel Digital, has also written plenty on this topic as well, and I'm citing him here just as further background, just to say, don't just trust me. Other people are saying this as well. He's even suggesting pushing for over around 1,000 words, which I think is just showing that the data is really proving that the longer and more valuable to your reader the blog that you have, the better. And so that's kind of my tip number 1 for SEO, is really just take a look at, do a little quick word count on how long your blog posts and articles and the content you're putting out there is, and really try and build that out to be a little bit longer, not just for longer's sake, but with valuable content that's relevant to your reader. Second, add outbound, internal, and inbound links. So by linking to previous blog posts or articles you've posted, or what we call internal links, or outside sources, which are called outbound, you are saying to Google, look how relevant and related I am to other content out there, you know? The key to this tip is understanding that Google cares a lot about relevancy and authority. You know, how relevant and authoritative are you within this particular industry or topic? By linking out to credible being the key word there, and trustworthy sources throughout your own site, you're indicating that your content is high quality and communicates accurate information. To further establish yourself as a credible source on your topic, your writing should also be original, not taken from someone else's site, and add to the conversation in a new way as opposed to regurgitating information. Another way to build relevancy and rank in Google when it comes to links is to have backlinks or inbound links to your content. These are a little harder to do. Backlinks are when another website links to your piece of content or to your website. This is essentially another website saying, hey, we like what this other website is doing, go check them out. We're going to literally link to them on our site. So the more backlinks that you have on other websites to your site, the better you're going to rank on Google, because now Google has a reason to believe, due to its algorithm, that your website is credible and relevant because more people are referencing you and are citing you or mentioning you. And so that's really important. And I think there's a lot to be said just even amongst that topic. But like I said, these are just some quick SEO wins. So we're going to move on to number 3, which is don't forget about the meta description and all those little quick SEO wins that you can have usually within your website builder that sometimes we forget or ignore. You know, we build out the site, we're like, yay, it's live, but we forget that there's so many different descriptions within that SEO section of your website builder, depending on kind of which provider that you're using, that are actually going to help you rank a little higher. If you've never heard of a meta description before, don't worry. This is a frequently missed component of a website. So although minor as this detail might seem, the meta description is super important when it comes to ranking and how your website appears on Google. The meta description is the summary you see below the link to your site that on Google, so when someone searches you. So this is text that Google searchers are going to read before they decide to click on your website. Pretty key, right? Because I need to know, okay, what am I getting here, you know, if I click the site. So each page on your site, not just your site as a whole, but each page on your site needs to have its own unique meta description. If you don't fill in this information yourself, your website server will most likely fill in the blanks for you. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes they do a pretty good job and are able to create a description that's pretty accurate to the content that's on that web page. But usually you want to make sure that's customized to kind of specifically what you want to highlight or what you want to mention, as opposed to the first 160 characters of whatever text was on that page. So go in there, make sure those are edited, because your meta description kind of invites your readers in, gives them a snapshot of kind of what they can expect from your page. And to get more clicks to your site and as a result kind of increase your ranking on Google, make sure your text is inviting and really clearly describes what your page is about. The recommended length, I believe, is about 155 to 160 characters is usually how much you would see in that description. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that search engines are definitely no dummies, and if they think your meta description doesn't accurately describe what the web page is showing, it might actually remove that description in replacement for its own. I don't think this happens as often, especially if you are accurately describing what that web page is showing, but just important to keep in mind as you craft kind of that perfect description for your site. Okay. Number 4, fourth tip in terms of quick SEO wins, make sure your content is easily understood by a 6th grader. Okay? It doesn't mean you need to go find yourself a 6th grader. There are some great tools out there to help you. But it doesn't matter if your target audience is college educated professionals with years of experience, because when it comes to successful website copy, blogs, articles, writing in general, it should all be at a 6th grade reading level or below. And this might come as a surprise, but unless you're studying or publishing a study or writing kind of in an academic journal or something that is kind of meant to tailor or skew kind of more academic, most people want to read the way that they talk. You know, we don't want to be sitting there being like, What is it saying? It's too hard. My brain, we don't want to be using unnecessary brain power while reading your blog to try to decipher the meaning behind your complicated language and industry specific jargon. We just don't. Even if we are smart enough to understand it, it might just feel exhausting enough for us to click away. We do have short attention spans, sadly, today. So Google really keeps track of how long users spend on your website, and if readers are leaving your page because they feel consumed or confused, or if they feel overwhelmed by your writing, then you aren't really doing yourself any favors in terms of Google ranking. And so if your content's easy to read, it's a relatively easy fix to kind of go in and just be like, okay, is this readable to a sixth grader? It keeps people on your page for longer, which helps boost that rating. Quick win number 5, include key search terms or phrases. So keyword research is the bread and butter of SEO. If you don't know what keywords you want to rank for or what your competitors are ranking for, then it's time to dig in and figure that out, And this is going to be a lot of trial and error. You're going to want to maybe rank for different things over time, or you might realize something's too hard to rank for and kind of change your game plan. But generally, keywords are the search terms that users are typing into Google's search bar. It's important to understand exactly your target audience and kind of what they're searching for and what solutions they are looking for before you begin implementing any kind of keywords or phrases into your site. Because maybe what you think someone's looking for within your target audience is not actually what they're typing in. And so you kind of want to understand your target audience in that way, because that'll allow you to better predict which search terms they are typing into Google that you can try and rank for those terms. By including these key search terms and keywords and phrases that your target audience is searching into your website copy, blogs, articles, all of the above, you make it easier for your website to pop up first. The best way to get into the mind of your ideal customer is really hearing directly from them. So what I like to do is use websites like Quora, Reddit, Wikipedia, Facebook, just diving through Facebook groups of my ideal consumers and seeking out the language, the jargon, the phrases that they're using, and kind of the questions that they're asking. You can even go into Google and search a phrase or a question, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see other keywords related to that search. So you can kind of see what other people are searching out there and use that in your site to be able to rank better for particular keywords, so that your website can come on top when someone searches that. Really, Neil Patel, who I mentioned earlier, is a great resource for keyword research planning. I highly recommend you check him out. I include his link at the bottom or in the comment section of this YouTube video, because there's a lot more to keyword research than just kind of popping in some commonly searched words to your blog. And it is a kind of a long-term strategy and a lot of thought there. But in terms of quick wins, there are a lot of keywords that you can just kind of pop in and think about incorporating into your website now that will over time really help you rank better on Google. So like all SEO strategies, the more time you spend on this, the more it's going to pay off in the long run. So take a deep breath. SEO, it's a little bit of what's going on for everybody, because no one really knows exactly how the algorithm works and exactly how things rank. But remind yourself that you've got this. SEO is complicated for everyone except maybe Neil Patel. I don't know. But it always takes everybody and every business kind of a little bit of time to figure out the right strategy and the right way to rank. But like a lot of content marketing and SEO in general, whether you implement these strategies or others, kind of the more you learn, the more you try, and the more you implement, the more it's going to pay off in your ranking, and the more that Google is going to love you. So hopefully that happens for you. Implement those 5 kind of quick wins. Let me know how it goes. Let me know those other quick wins that you're doing for your business as well, because I want to hear it. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Best of luck in your SEO strategy, and I look forward to seeing you other places on my channel as well. Have a good rest of your day.